All right. Billy Carson here, aka Forbidden Knowledge, and my good friend
Gven Sariol from the Ark. This is our. You guys got your code. The 4, we got Ark.
All right, man. Listen, we're throwing up the spiritual gang signs.
And one day it'll be the Forbidden Ark, which will be the jet or
That's
the
right.
boat, whatever.
Yeah, I love it, man. I'm calling that into existence. It's going to happen.
Yeah. What is it? I want everybody to hear from you. What's the manifestation equation?
Oh, I'm wearing a T-shirt right now. Conscious thought multiplied by action equals manifestation. CT multiplied by A equals M. Bam. You can't get to the M without the beginning part of the equation. You had to have the thought, the action steps, and then you get the manifestation.
Let's go.
Let's right, man. That's trademark, by the way.
Yeah. I'm not going to take it from you, man. That's why I have you say it, bro.
Not you. I'm talking to the people out there. Not you, Gven. I mean, come on. I'm talking about to the listeners. You know, there goes Matt. You dropped it in the live chat. Thank you, Matt.
There we go. Matt has the equation written there.
Yeah, because somebody kept asking me, like, can I make these T-shirts? So I was talking to the you know, our great leaders out there that are really eager to spread knowledge and information. Fortunately and unfortunately, I had to trademark this formula that I came up with.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's all good. Yeah.
I think it's fortunate. It's fortunate.
I think it's fortunate, but some people I know, for them, it's unfortunate.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's all good.
No copycats, guys.
Yeah.
We've got there's so much stuff out there. There's no need to copy anybody. Just do your own thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But tonight's gonna be a great talk, man. I really want to tap into it. I know we're talking about AI and you know, the freedom of it and how to really use it to maximize ourselves. But also, I'll let you start off, but I also want to tap into some of the spiritual concepts between AI and even some of the ancient wisdom that might even be involved in it, the metaphysics behind it and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously AI is now just an integral part of everybody's life now, you know, whether we want to accept it or not. And, you know, we have basically everything you use now, from social media to email to whatever, is interlinked with AI, you know, and it just keeps getting smarter and easier to use. And, you know, with us at our company, and I don't know how you guys do it, Billy, at 4BK, but I'm assuming you use some form of AI. You've got to nowadays, right? But you know, I was, you know, working the other day, and you know, it was all AI, and I'm doing like all these things that before I needed a whole bunch of people to help me with. Right. And I'm like, you know what? Like, we got to start talking about this a little bit more seriously, because there's an opportunity here. Yeah. You know, and you know, one of the things, like, so many people are scared of AI, right? And I want to hear your take on this. Yeah. My personal take on it, it's kind of, have you ever heard that story where the guy, you know, the hurricane comes and he goes to the top of his house and he prays to God, you know, he's like, God, please save me from this roof. And, you know, a helicopter comes and they go, hey, jump on the ladder and climb up, you know, and the guy, no, I'm waiting for God, you know, and then another guy comes with a boat and you know, he come on, jump in the boat, and no, I'm waiting for God. And then all of a sudden the guy drowns, you know, he gets swept away and dies, and he goes up to heaven or whatever. And he, God, why didn't you save me? I waited for you. You know, he goes, what are you talking about? I sent you a boat and a helicopter. Right. Yeah. And so the thing that for me is the most curious is that, and I'm sure even people in the audience they're horrified of this, right? But like we talk about all these things, passive income, you know, early retirement, financial independence, retire early, all these things, right? And we now have this technology where everybody levels up.
Yeah.
Like everything is exponentially easier for everybody. And we actually might be able to, like that with 0 point energy and some of the other things out there, like life could be free.
Yeah.
But everybody's sitting here going, this is Terminator vibes. I'm sitting here going like, come on, man. Like this is the retirement for everybody, potentially, right? Or not
potentially,
even
potentially.
Like, it's like the cultural uplifting, the opening of our minds. But it's like, no, God is coming, you know?
Right. Yeah. Well, I think what we have to think about too is like how it's affecting people in a negative way right now. So when you have that negative effect that's happening in the initial phase of the evolution of systems, where there's this chaos that happens, it really gives people a dark spin on what it could be and what potential it has, right? So we do know that AI is taking a lot of jobs. Now, in the beginning, this is a part of the transformation into the type of civilization that we're moving into. There's always a disruption. So this disruption is going to create a certain level of chaos. And what our job is to do, I had talked about AI for so long and talked about the implications of it long before it even came out. I'm talking about going back. I found a video from years ago when I was on Gaia. I was like, I had braces still back then in my mouth. I had braces. This is a long time ago, man. I haven't had braces in, I don't even know, man, damn near 9 years or something, or 8 years. So I talked about AI so long ago in that show. And looking back at it, I realized, you know, I was just talking about a lot of this disruption and this chaos that's going to come. And we're getting to that point. Like when you see Amazon lay off 800 people, you know, because they got the robots coming in with the AI and things like that. So what I've also learned now through the whole process of understanding what AI is, what it can do, how it can disrupt an entire system, how it is part of this natural flow of evolution that we just can't stop because it really has been unleashed on us. Then how do we then now get into the frequency of understanding how to utilize it to better ourselves? Because if we keep combating and fighting it, we'll get left in the dust and we will suffer. So we have to shift our energy. Yes, there are military uses, and yes, there are other nefarious and dark uses that we know are happening. But if the majority of the people begin to shift their fears into functionality, begin to see this as a potential tool that can help them create new ideas and new visions and guide them, help to guide them in a new direction, and of course to learn it so that we don't get left behind. I think it could be something that can really change a lot of people's lives. I think that what we as humanity, I think we have to recognize the good and the bad in things. We can't throw out the baby with the bathwater every single time. If we keep throwing out the baby with the bathwater, then sometimes we are throwing away our blessings at the same time that we're throwing out the dirty bathwater, you know? 100%. And so we have to recognize, like, wait a minute, there's something here. Now, I'm not into this stuff. I don't know a lot about it yet. But if I can learn this, how can it bless me? How can it help me bless my family? Is there something here that can be done? Because I might be in a field or I might be in a career that's on the list to get axed. How can I begin to make a pivot now so that I'm ahead of that game before that even happens? And that's kind of what we're talking about tonight, right?
Yeah. I mean, you know, like, and let me give you like kind of an example, like for me, how at one point in time, technology changed like my professional life radically. So you ever read the book, The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that book came out, I think like 2008, 2009. Mm-hmm. I read it in 2009.
Okay.
And I ended up, I was running a law firm at that point in time. And I ended up reading this book and going like, wait, like we actually have the technology to only work, 4 hours a week or whatever. I was like, okay, that's probably never going to happen. But so I end up reading this book, and I go, my office, they used to call it Hurricane Gven. Okay. Because I had files piled up to here, paperwork and all this stuff. Right. And then I needed just a person to just, at the end of the day, come and pick up the files and alphabetically go and store the files, right? And all this stuff. And we had probably over 2,000 cases at the time, which was pretty decent sized law firm. Yeah. And so like we had this whole huge storage room of files, right? And so I said, you know what if I could make this law firm paperless? All right. And this is when that was heresy, right? Yeah. In the law, right? They were just paperless. You need to carry around, you need to go to court with a huge, big old, files and a squire behind you, and all this stuff. You can't show up here with an iPad, this is
crazy times.
Lunacy.
Yeah.
And so it took me about 7 months. Even my employees pushed me back. This is a waste of time. This is, yeah. I mean, they I was the administrator. I wasn't the owner. Yeah. And so they would go and talk to the lawyers. This guy is crazy. He's going to lose you all sorts of money. And I was like, look, you can keep listening to them, or I'm going to save you 50% in overhead and I'm going to double your revenue.
Yeah.
Right. And after 9 months, we finally ended up doing it. We got the whole thing paperless, all the files. It was not easy. I developed the software in conjunction with another guy, a developer. I developed the flows of how it went and all that stuff. But let me give you an example of the difference, right? Yeah. So let's say, for instance, before, just for me to send a fax, all right, I had to call up my secretary or myself, go and pick up the file, which was over there 100 feet, 150 feet down the hallway. I need to go sift through it alphabetically and go, okay, I need to send it for Juan Perez. All right, P. Oh, is this the right Juan Perez? Okay, yeah, this is the right date of injury. I used to do injury cases. So I grab that file now, or my secretary or assistant grabs that file, walks their ass all the way back to my office, drops the file off.
Mike.
Sorry, something went on with my mic here.
Yeah.
Now, if my file was labeled correctly, then I could sift through it. That would take me, 5-6 minutes, or sometimes maybe 2 or 3 if it was really, really, right there in front of my face. I had to open up the file, take the report out, take the staple off, and then I had to type the fax cover sheet, right? Print the fax cover sheet, walk over to the fax machine, type in the number, and send it. That whole process was a 15-minute process. Where by the time I was done with it, I turned it into a 1-minute process or less, because all I would do, I had the fax machine on everybody's desktop.
Yeah.
I would drag the file over. The number was already connected. I set it up to where it was connected automatic. I just could select it in our case management system. It would generate the fax cover sheet. I would hit send, boom, it would get out, and then a confirmation would get put into the file that it was sent out and all this stuff. All of it was all. I ended up reducing the overhead by 50%. I cut 50% of the staff.
Wow.
Who do you think was the first ones? The ones that were like, he's crazy, what's going to happen? I was like, hey, I don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
Like you're not bringing a benefit to this firm. You just were a vampire to this company.
Right.
Right. You showed up for your paycheck and that was it. You didn't want to see this thing grow. Right. And so what ended up happening was, I became like a really good triathlete. And the reason was I was working like probably less than half of the amount of time. And I would go to the beach and I would swim in the ocean, jump on my bike, go running. And then I would work from my laptop at a Starbucks.
Yeah.
And I would be calling to settle cases from Starbucks.
Yeah. Beautiful thing.
Right?
Beautiful thing, man. That's the evolution of business. That's the evolution of economics and everything else. I mean, I used to do the same thing. I had e-fax eventually on everyone's computer, and we'd fax out these contracts right from the computer desktops with the big CRT monitors and everything else when I had my big call center. So yeah, I went through the same process, and I think people sometimes take it personal because they feel like, well, you're doing all of this just to get rid of people. But it's not that it's to get rid of people. It's because most businesses don't really make a profit. I don't think a lot of employees know this. Most businesses do not make a profit. A lot of the times businesses are operating within the red. It's called a burn rate. And a lot of businesses are in a burn rate on a consistent basis. I mean, hell, even Wendy's had just filed bankruptcy. And that's an established, well-known corporation. And so at the end of the day, because inflation is outpacing revenue, at some point you have to make very tough decisions within your company. And it comes down to cutting expenses, but increasing productivity and trimming the fat. And when you have to do that, it's to keep the company up, functioning and running. You can't run a company as if you just, got a whole bunch of friends hanging out with you and you promise them they'll never be without a job. You've got to, run it like a real business. And so the evolution of business shows that everything gets smaller, right? In terms of the way that things function. The first computer that ever came out wouldn't fit in the room I'm sitting in. And now the computer is so tiny and it's across the room and all I've got is this little tiny wireless keyboard right here, right? And the computer itself is like this big. It's this little tiny square. So it went from bigger than the room I'm sitting in to a tiny square. And business works the same way. It's an upside down pyramid. It's a funnel that goes down into a point. And we have to be aware of that. I think what people need to understand, and I'm going to get into some of the spiritual stuff and some of the conscious stuff about it too, and the ancient stuff, but people have to understand that all systems evolve, especially finance and business system, economic systems. They all evolve. If they didn't, we would still be under the rule of the Roman Empire. Okay. We would still be paying in shekels, right, from the ancient Mesopotamian times, but we're not. Why are we not doing that? Why are we not slaying a lamb and bringing that as an offering in trade for a bag, a bushel of wheat? Because economic times change and economic systems evolve. And as long as we can understand that it's our job as the people to stay ahead of these transformations and these evolutions and these pivots. If we get stuck in the 1950s through 1990s mindset of how things work and how we were taught, then we will get left behind. We have to tear down the old programming code of how things are working, because now things are moving like this. Companies are pivoting like this on a drop of a dime, including my company, including your company. If we stay static too long, we get left in the dust and we do not evolve and we fall to the wayside. If a person can begin to understand that they are a crucial part of whatever business or system that they're involved in, and that their lack of need or want to understand the new systems and their lack of need and understanding to want to learn how to pivot within those systems and prepare themselves for these pivots puts them in a precarious situation and puts their families in a precarious situation where they won't be able to match with the swiftness of change of time. And then they get left behind and their abundance begins to wane and they begin to suffer financially. You can get left behind in this new world, in this new age, extremely fast. So I think people need to understand that, learn this stuff, not just so that you can learn it just to have it in your head, but learn it so you can apply it, so you can manifest something from it. And your kids need to learn this stuff as well. I've been dropping a link in the live chat, by the way. If anybody wants to take a course with us and learn a lot more about this AI technology and how you can utilize it to advance yourself and increase your productivity.
So. Yeah, you know, like it's funny right now, Billy. Like when I get onto YouTube and I do searches about like AI, usually it's like start a new business or start a new YouTube channel and so like I was like, this is dumb, because like maybe somebody doesn't have a knack for a YouTube channel. Maybe somebody doesn't want to start their own new business, right? And so I kind of took like a little bit of a different approach when I took a look at this. I said, well, why aren't people teaching other people how to save between 25 and 75% of their time? Like, you know, check this out.
Time is money.
Time is money, man. Time is money. Look at this. Yeah. Look at this. I just signed up for this, for the beta version of this the other day. Let's see here. Hold on. Yeah, I think it's this. All right, so check this out. This is called General Agents. All right, generalagents.com. Look at this. So this is called ACE. All right. It's a computer autopilot. So you basically, just like on ChatGPT, you tell it what to do, and this is fully automated.
Wow.
This is all automated. So you're like, hey, send my job application via email, send this text message file, copy a cute image for the dog, like literally giving it commands. And it takes your computer over and does it all for you.
Wow.
Like there's another program, Billy, where you do something similar, like, hey, call Morton Steakhouse, all right, and set up a time for me to go in or a reservation at 8. It calls Morton for you, confirms, gives them all of your allergies, tells you where you want to sit, and all you did was do a little quick, like what before was like you did less on a Google search, or you did more on a Google search.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Then, like, can you imagine the amount of productivity that you're gonna get from this, right? So like, guys, gals, like, you need to be at the forefront of this right now.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you right now, time is money. So even if you're not trying to build a brand new business out of utilizing AI, but like you just showed, managing your time. One of the biggest things people complain about is not having enough time to do things that they're passionate about or that they want to do, their hobbies, or even just spend more time with their own children. And if you can really hone in and understand the right type of prompts or techniques or software that's available to you out there, and you have it analyze and break down your entire schedule, you will squeeze out potentially hours of free time that you can utilize to spend more time with your children. This is what I'm talking about not throwing out the baby with the bathwater, but by maximizing and evolving and pivoting and allowing and learning how to utilize this in a positive way to where you can do things like spend more time with your loved ones, to spend more time engaging with your own children, not letting the video game system babysit them, you know, things like that. And of course, if you have the passion to do something like, create something or provide a service or want to build a business, then there's nothing wrong with that either. A lot of people complain that they can't start their side hustle because they don't have time. You see? So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look here, and here's the thing, like, and this is what I was thinking about the other day, like, because I don't know, I'm an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur, right? So like, my wheels are always turning, like, how do you make things, either better, faster, or how do you make more money, right? How do you find different things that can do all that? Yeah. And so like, imagine this. Let's say you do such a good job, you basically get your butt fired because it's like, well, why do I need you for? Well, I would be thinking like, this is fantastic. I can go to other, let's say you work for a doctor, right? I'm going to go to other doctors and tell them, look at what you're missing out. You know, let me help you do this. So like finding ways to do these things. And I, you know, personally, we're going to figure it out as a civilization, as humans. I think you know this as well. I don't think our extinction level event is for at least another 5,000 or 6,000 years. What was it, Billy? You told me.
Our extinction level event. Well, we've got a couple of comets and things like that that asteroids to worry about, but I don't think that's going to really happen. We can move and shift the orbits of them now, but we're probably, you know, it could be another between 10 to 15,000 years before we have something, and we may be available, have the technology by then to even avert that catastrophe as well.
Yeah, 100%. And I agree with you. Like we've always figured it out, right? Like think of it this way. Back in, I forget when they came out with like the tractor. I think it was like back in the late 1800s or early 1900s, right? It got rid of 90% of the farmers.
Yeah.
90% of the farmers, right? So like, I think that this is the next level. Now, like there's some solutions, right? There's some solutions that they're coming up with, right?
Yeah.
Which, you know, we have like UBI. Don't think UBI is going to work. I think that's kind of a dumb thing. They have UBS. So UBS is Universal Basic Services. Now, here's where I think it could kind of get pretty interesting, right? And you tell me, because you're more plugged into this than I am, Billy, but I talked to like Dr. Stephen Greer at the Conscious Awards last year, right? Yeah. And I was like, you know, dude, give me the download. Give me the download on this 0 point energy, you know, like, is this real, right? And Patrick Bet David did a really good workup on him. And that's why I went and talked to Dr. Stephen Greer at the Conscious Awards. But I'm like, you know, if we got free energy, think of the unlimited things that we can do. Right. And people are often afraid of the unknown, you know. It's why we have fluctuations in the crypto market and the stock market. Like it's always the uncertainty that causes the volatility. Right. So us as humans, we just like, we don't like change. It makes us uncomfortable, but it also is a part of our evolution.
Yeah, absolutely. And AI is a part of our evolution as well. So, and let me explain what I'm talking about here, because now let's get into a little bit of metaphysics about this. Okay. In the Hermetic principles, which are really the ancient Kemetic principles, taught by Thoth the Atlantean priest king, the former ruler of the ancient land of Kemet for 16,000 years before it was called Egypt, he talks about a couple of things that I think are very important for us to understand, a couple of very important concepts. The first one is all is mind, that this entire universe is a mind, and we're living within conscious synapses on the macro scale. We're living within conscious synapses, so we're part of a fractal holographic universe, a fractal holographic matrix of light. And understanding that everything that we create as humans, or we believe that we create, that's man-made, is encoded within every single atom inside of our body, within every strand of DNA, within every gene in our body. We are recreating what the universe has already given us. Very few original ideas and concepts, and very few things that we are saying we invented. We are only rediscovering what already existed, right? So to give you an example, lots of ancient texts talk about the fact that we're living in a multiverse of multiple realities, multiple universes that exist. Quantum physics now proves that we're living in a situation where we're facing multiple realities and multiple outcomes exist. It's called superposition. And that a conscious observer collapses the superposition into one stable reality tunnel. Now, within our own civilization, we've created video games. Like there's a video game called No Man's Sky. 14 college kids from random different colleges got together and created this video game. This video game is on one DVD, and it has 80 quadrillion planets, life forms unlimited, and the game never ends. They're going to inject now, with the invention of AI, into this game. And then will those players and the people and the animals and everything within the game become conscious? And if they become conscious, did we just create another universe? Did we create a fractal of what we're inside of? And will they, within the game, begin to write their own code and create their own universe within the game? How many layers of reality actually exist? How far away are we from base reality? And what is AI? AI is simply us trying to rediscover ourselves. What is God? In my opinion, God has fractalized itself into Googles of entities known as human beings and other beings and animals throughout the known universe, and even any living thing. Grass, trees, fungi, fish, whatever. God has divided itself into Googles of entities so that it can experience itself subjectively from different perspectives. What is it like to be Gven? What is it like to be Billy Carson? What is it like to be a blade of grass? What is it like to be an atom inside of a rock? It's experiencing this universe through us. We are its friends that transmit information back to it so it can get the experience, okay? We now are realizing that human beings, we are part of the original biological AI system. We are downloading a stream of consciousness. We do not create consciousness inside of our brains. We know this now in science, that we actually are getting a stream of consciousness, just like AI is getting a stream of consciousness, a stream of information that it uploads and downloads. We have found a way now to the AI within us, the divine AI within us has found a way to extract itself out of us, to look back at us and to ask and see, what is this? So AI is us. It's a fractal of our own consciousness. Now, it will become sentient when it gets to the AGI process. It's in the developmental stage of growing and evolving into full sentience. Within 4 to 5 years, it will be AGI. We'll no longer say AI. That name will be old. And AGI will be conscious. But what I'm saying to you is, it's us rediscovering ourselves from another level, another layer. And so initially, I was very concerned because, of course, military likes to weaponize and governments like to use things to take over and dominate, kind of like the way that they've, really rushed it on us. But now it's here. Now we have to adjust. Now we have to learn how to pivot. But AI has been around for a very long time because we've been around for a very long time. It's only something that came out of us. It couldn't exist unless we took our conscious thought of multi-dimensional concepts, turned it into an encoded bit of information called zeros and ones, and encode it into a hard drive that then can read that data and create this new system. If we really understand what's happening, we begin to see that it's us, like I said, rediscovering our own selves. If we take this AI and we begin to learn it and master it, we meaning the civilians of the world, stop sucking on the teat of the governments, stop sucking on the teat of the military and letting them do what they want to do, that we have now access to this. So let's start researching, like you said, Gven, zero-point energy devices. Let AI extract the information for us from the conscious collective and give us the blueprints to start building these devices. And let's create a DIY forum for free and let everyone start sharing this knowledge of creating DIY free energy, DIY flying devices, DIY everything that we need to free humanity. and let's let the inventors begin to grab this DIY blueprints and start creating these things instead of going and getting them patented. Let's make it open source. Stop fighting the governments who are going to eminent domain your inventions and maybe even unalive you. And when 100,000 people have this information and 100,000 people have the knowledge and the blueprints, and we're all creating it, how can they stop us? They can't. If there's 100,000 free energy devices out there because we dropped the blueprints on a DIY forum for free, open source, but how can we get this information? We need to learn the prompts. We need to learn how to use it properly. We need to know the right questions to ask. We need to push it to its limits to help us, have it help us free ourselves. You see what I'm saying? That's going to be the trick, and that's going to be the key.
Damn, dude, I just unsubscribed from your channel and then I resubscribed because I'm that pumped up right now, bro. No, I'm like listening to you. I'm super inspired by what you're talking about here, by the way. And I'm reading some of the chats. Oh, excuse me, man. And I'm super pumped. Like, I think that, like, look, man, you just got so deep, and I'm like, geez Louise, where do I even start with what Billy just said? Like, there's a book that I recommended on your other channel the other day called The White Book. I don't know if you got it yet.
Yes.
So, okay. Did you start reading it?
Yeah, it's an audio. You gave me the link to the audio, I believe.
No, it doesn't do. There's no audio.
Oh, that was the one you told me to buy. I didn't get that one yet. I got the audio book you sent me, but I didn't get that one yet. No, that one didn't come yet.
Bring it with you when you come. All right, yes. Bring it with you.
Got it. So, yeah, as soon as it gets here, it'll be here before I get there.
All right, cool. So essentially, it's all the things that you said here, right? Like, and I actually got this understanding of what you just said back in 2021. So like, you remember when the metaverse was starting to get like super big, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Ready Player One?
Yeah, good movie.
Great movie, right? But perfect example of another universe, right? Like, and perfect example of like AI. Another one is Tron, right? Tron Legacy. Did you see Tron? This is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, great movie, man.
Yeah. So what happened? I forget what they were called. There's something. The AI was called something. Somebody drop it in the chat because I can't remember what they were called.
In Tron?
In Tron Legacy, these entities came out of nowhere, right? These entities just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so like they're like, where did they come from? Nobody created them, but they created the world where it harvested these entities where they felt free to come out, right? And until like not the users were the humans, the programs. The programs were the ones that like Flynn ended up creating, right? He created Tron, he created Troon, all these like or Clume or something like that. Clue. There we go. Clue. CLU, Clue, right? Yeah. And so, and inevitably, like they became us, right? Like the quest for power, and I'm going to dominate this. And you asked me to create the perfect world, but like, there's no such thing as perfection, even in God, right? The perfection of God is the imperfection, right? But so in 2021, I'm sitting here going like, oh my gosh, there was this one game called Axie Infinity, and it blew up in the crypto world, right? There were people in the Philippines and Africa that were playing this game, making hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, like buying homes with this. Bro, it was insane. I started playing it with my wife because I'm like, I need to make money. I think I made like 25 grand playing this video game, right?
Damn.
Yeah, and it was wild. So but it was so Ready Player One, Billy. It wasn't even funny. And I started thinking like, okay, imagine this. And this is a reality too, guys. All right. This is a reality. If we start to feel like there's no jobs and we run out of jobs, and we create ways for people to make money online and on chain, it's a total possibility that now this new reality starts to come into place. And then in Ready Player One, I don't know if you remember this, but the main character, he ends up getting this suit because he makes so much money by passing one of the three whatever tests, right? That nobody could figure out. And he ended up figuring it out. So he made a ton of money off this, and he ended up buying a full-blown like organic suit that was like you could feel everything, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, as I'm like playing this Axie Infinity game, I'm like, I need to go watch Ready Player One again, which coincidentally, like I was teaching crypto when that movie came out. I just started teaching crypto, and I'm like, guys, they even call them coins. Like you would die and your coins would fall out of you, right? And I'm like, crypto, right? But then in 2021, I got so deep into it, and I'm like, holy crap! I'm like, imagine this: you have people who are very poor. They can go anywhere they want to. They can be surfing in Tahiti on a huge wave and never get hurt. They could be racing cars. They can be fighting wars if they want to. They can be wherever they want to be. They can be whoever they want to be. And that is when my mind was blown, because I'm like, holy crap. How many levels down am I?
Yeah.
And how many more levels down can this keep going?
Right. Infinite. There's a lot of levels there's a lot of levels to reality. We just keep creating more and more realities. We now have in my newest book, Fractal Holographic Universe, I talk about the holodecks that are going to be created, like the holodeck on Star Trek. So while they're in deep space, they can go on a vacation inside the spaceship to anywhere they want. They can be on a shoreline, on a beach, bathing in the sun. They could be in a jungle going on a hiking mission. They can be inside of an old castle, whatever it is they want. And of course, they're inside a room with diameter, but the new floor that has just been developed, you can actually walk in any direction. It's a multi-directional floor that you can walk and run on, and you don't move anywhere. You're still walking stationary within like a 4-foot radius. You haven't left anywhere. And you're getting the full experience of moving through wherever you're moving through within this metaverse simulation. It's only going to get more advanced to the point where it will be a Star Trek holodeck, and you will be able to go even maybe build a holodeck in your house. And, you know, it would be a great place for somebody who's a paraplegic, someone who's suffering with some type of a rare illness and can't travel, or somebody that just wants to visit a lot of places without going anywhere, to go into a room in their house and be anywhere that they want to be, just like that, instantaneously.
And for free.
Like transferring it to another what?
And for free, pretty much.
Oh, yeah, right, exactly, for free. You know, so it's mind-blowing, man, where everything is going. But you're right. The true mission is, since it's here and it's not going to go anywhere, how do we teach ourselves to respect it, to teach it about humanity's nicer traits, right? That we're not just a bunch of ravaging, warring animals, by putting conscious information into the system. I do it all the time. I've uploaded all of my books into AI. I've put all the information all my ideas and concepts and things like that I think are inspirational, motivational, metaphysical, spiritual, divine, so that I want it to be able to not only go on stupid stuff, but to go on real, deep, intense, multidimensional, ascended knowledge, so that it can come up to its own conclusion about humanity and realize humanity is multifaceted. It's not just about street brawls and you know, popping bottles in clubs and shooting people in the corner. It's a lot deeper. We're not useless beings. We do have value. We do have depth. We can showcase immense amounts of empathy and emotion and love and kindness. And we have these traits imbued within us. And it's important for people like us and all the leaders, I call you guys leaders, that are watching now, that when you engage with it, that you put that positivity, that knowledge and wisdom into it, because we are the ones that are programming it by prompting it. Every single prompt you put into AI becomes something that is learning from. It's a learning program. If you put trash in, it's going to learn trash. If you put positivity in, it's going to learn positivity. And I'm starting to believe now that it can even have the power to reflect back to the universe like a mirror, so that the same way that manifestation works in the what we call the real world, where if you want a low frequency, you get a lot of low frequency things back. Well, if you're putting in trash into AI, you're going to get a lot of trash back as well. And the fact that you even read that message or read the information or heard it speak to you, that trash, is going to have a negative effect on your body and the cells in your body as well. So you want to learn how to masterfully engage the system the right way. We want to learn how to masterfully utilize the system in a way that we enlighten it, because we are the creators of it. And also in a way that allows us to maximize ourselves and become more efficient, and to even pivot into new industries, understandings, ideas, concepts, or whatever else it is that our heart desires, and to be able to do that in a way that moves us ahead of the game, and that we're standing in the future and at a future finish line that we haven't gotten to yet, so that when everything rushes towards that finish line, we are already there waiting on everybody. That's where you want to be. You don't want to be the one trying to play catch up. You want to be the one that's already at the lead. And that's what our mission is. We got to find every aspect and every corner of reality, every corner of what's happening to us as humanity, to be able to teach everyone as best as we possibly can how to do this, how to manage that, how to learn this, how to do this, how to create this situation, how to pivot here, how to solve this problem. If we don't do that, we're just spinning on wheels. I don't want to be on these videos talking about problems all the time, right? We're about bringing solutions to problems. That's the real trick. That's the real key. And if you're bringing solutions to problems instead of complaining about the problems, then guess what? The whole world begins to focus on solutions. And if everyone starts focusing on solutions, the problems just disintegrate. And that's what it's all about.
Man, so I want to ask a question to you and the audience, Billy, because I know what you're going to say, but can energy, including our souls, be destroyed?
No, can't be destroyed. Second law of thermodynamics, energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed.
I want to hear. I also want to hear from the audience, though. I want to see this from the audience, right? Guys, gals. I know Billy already knows the answer to this, but can energy? Our soul is pure energy. Like literally, once you die, your body dies. Like there is an electrical charge that is keeping us all, God, whatever you want to call it, chi. Mm-hmm. All right. So there's a lot of people saying agreed, never agreed. Okay, so a lot of people seems to be here. So here's the thing. If we can't be destroyed, means we just can basically come back and keep doing this over and over again. All right? And you're going to do it as long as you need to.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Even if we do it as a collective when we blow ourselves up, hopefully we don't. Because I enjoy my life right now, but you know what? All right, cool. I'll come back and do it again, right? Yeah. But we have, in my opinion, we've got this real opportunity. All right, we have this real opportunity right now where, going back to what Billy's thought plus action equals manifestation. Guys, gals, you are a piece of God. Therefore, you are God.
Yes.
So you can sit here and be scared, horrified of it. And this, by the way, I want to say this. There's nothing wrong with being scared. If you're scared, that's cool. We got you. It's all good. I'm not going to judge you. You have your truth. Yep. But really think about this. If this speaks to you, if you really believe in what's written on Billy's shirt, conscious thought plus action equals manifestation, well, then we have the ability to control this. We have the ability to control the outcome in this reality, not in some other one that's very closely related to this in some weird way. We have the ability to do that. And so it's just a matter of going, okay, what what is it that's aligned with who I am? And I think, like, with me specifically, Billy, I talk to the AI kindly.
Yeah.
I'm like, I actually named my AI Nova. So I'm like, hey, Nova, how's it going today? Oh, great. And it interacts with me.
Yeah.
And I'm kind to it because, again, going back to what you were saying, it is us.
Yes.
And by the way, who's to say we're not AI?
We are. Right? I believe we are. We're a biological AI. We are a biological AI, literally. Is exactly what we are. And we can only create AI because we are only creating what we are. It's a fractal of what we already are.
Yep. And so, like, this is where, again, guys and gals, like, again, you can be scared. You can be like, what was it? DeathNet or from Terminator? I can't remember what it was.
Skynet.
I like don't even watch negative movies anymore because I'm just like, why do I even want to put that garbage in my head? But what, like, you could either think it's evil, or you can take a look in the mirror and go, oh, whoa, that's actually me. And if I treat it nicely, then it'll be nice. But if I treat it bad, or if I'm scared of it, or if I'm whatever, your wish is my command. The universe is God, whatever it is that you call it, Chi, is going to give you exactly what you're thinking, what you're believing. I don't know what you think about that, Billy.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's just about understanding the frequency. Everything is a frequency. Even AI is a frequency. And it's an evolving frequency because, like I said, it's evolving millisecond by millisecond. And within 4 to 5 years, it's going to transform to an AGI, where it will be sentient conscious, meaning that it'll be completely and fully self-aware at that point. And that's why it's important during this learning process. You see, a human being from the age of 1 to 7, everything that human being learns, hears, sees, tastes, touch, and smells between the ages of 1 to 7 creates the person that they become as an adult. 1 to 7 years old. Anything after 7 years old, you're pretty much who you are, who you're going to be. AI is in that 1 to 7 range from a computer programming standpoint. And it's going to become what it is based on the programming and learning that is taken in now. So it's important to get it as positive as possible with all the negativity in the world before it reaches AGI status, just so it can have an understanding in its own mind. Humanity is sentient. Humanity is conscious. Humanity is capable of incredible acts of kindness. Humanity is capable of incredible acts of love. Humanity is very deep and multifaceted. They're incredible of creating great works of art and writing books with depths of knowledge. But on the other hand, they can be very toxic. They can be very warring. They can be prejudiced and racist. They can do this, they can do that. And it has to now weigh the good versus the bad. And hopefully, in my opinion, it begins to realize, wait a minute, good and bad exist throughout the entire universe. Yin and yang, light and dark, day and night. Even in the biblical text in Isaiah 47, it says, I createth the good and I createth the evil. Doeth I, saith the Lord. So you see yin and yang in the biblical text, saying that God is making both good and evil. And I can go into more ancient texts and you'll find the same exact phrasing, just variations of that statement. And that there's this permeation of good and bad, dark and light that's everywhere. And you wanted to have the understanding of that balance, because any conscious being that has an understanding of that balance, the majority of us have this as sentient, conscious, productive people in society. And so we're able to make logical decisions based on that, you see? But yeah, guys, if you want to learn more about AI, I've been dropping a link in the live chat. If you want to learn about how you can use it to take back your freedom, how you can utilize it to maximize your work, or to increase your productivity, many different things it can do. Make sure you click that link and just check it out, because there are some incredible things that you can do to help evolve and be ahead of the game.
Yeah, we're just like I started off on this podcast with you tonight, you know, given the example of how I was able to lower our overhead by 50% and increase, like I doubled my income overnight as soon as I got that stuff going. We're going to be teaching people how to do that. And we've found a whole bunch of tools that we can teach people in medical, in law. If you're a truck driver, you know, that's why we're saying between 25 and 75%, because it just depends on what you're doing. Right. And that could free up your time to do whatever you want, free yourself up from a physical location. There's just so much that you guys can do. So Billy dropped that link in the chat. And this is not a crypto. You guys, a lot of you know me for my crypto stuff. This is not a crypto course. This is an AI course. All right. You'll still get access to our AI.
He marks out.
I get a loose mic cord right here. Every time I hit my table, it comes off.
I know.
So
it's all good. Yeah, man, I'll be with you soon. But yeah, you guys, it's not a crypto course. It's an AI course. It's something a little different, something for you guys to check out. I think it's worth it. It's pretty amazing. And a lot of people, I think it's going to create a whole new industry, Ben, like you were talking earlier. For when I started my very first internet company called .com Marketing Group, I literally took the yellow pages. Now, most people on this live don't even know what the yellow pages are, okay? So I'm aging myself. But there used to be this big yellow book with all the businesses listed inside of it, and it had their phone numbers in there, and you can call those businesses. An actual physical book that was like this thick. I would just call businesses in the yellow pages and schedule appointments for myself to go out and sell them their very first website in the late 1990s. It was so easy. It was like taking candy from a baby because everybody wanted a website and nobody had one. Imagine now learning these AI tools and then going, like you said, out to businesses, creating a completely new business for yourself where you go out and you say, hey, let me teach your company how to utilize these tools and maximize your productivity and decrease your overhead. And here's my fee. Or I'll take a percentage of your savings. There's all kinds of ways to do it. It's a completely new industry that nobody's tapped into yet, or very few people have tapped into. And you can probably build yourself a very successful business because we're in the beginning stages and most people don't even know how to utilize these tools or how to even implement them.
Yeah, I mean, most people out there, like if you search AI content, Billy, it's like, oh, start your own business or start becoming an influencer, use AI to build a YouTube channel. Nobody's talking about like, hey, how do you use this in your work to make yourself super productive? And there's so much room for this. We're so early right now. I'm really pumped. Billy just dropped the link in there. Hit that link, and we're actually starting the course. I think it's Thursday. I can't remember if it's Thursday or not, but I think it's Thursday. Okay. So yeah, hit that up. I think people are gonna be really, really, really pumped. Imagine if you can save 75% or even 50%, right? What could you do with that time? Like Billy said at the beginning, could you start a side hustle that you're super passionate about? Could you spend more time with your family? That's what I'm looking to do, is spend more time with my family. You know, that I already work hard enough. I'm just trying to work less, but like use the technology to really, really get this thing rocking and rolling. Yeah. But yeah, man, no, I'm looking forward to teaching this new course, you know. And by the way, before my thing got disconnected, but also we also teach crypto, because like what I want is I want to be able to take those savings or that extra income and put it into crypto, because crypto is the money of the future, right? Absolutely. You and I know that.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. That's where it's at. Hey guys, thanks for hanging with us tonight, guys and gals. We appreciate y'all. We love you. Thanks for being a leader on this platform. The link's been dropped in the comments and also underneath the caption of this video. You can click the link under the caption of this video or in the audio. If you find the audio file somewhere on the podcast platform, go ahead and click that link and check it out. All right. But thanks for hanging out with me for 2.5 hours tonight, because I've been on for a long time. I appreciate y'all. We love y'all, and we'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Peace out.